Hey guys, this is Sandy Diana, and I'm hopping on here. I decided to make this video. I was going strong with making videos, and I just started doing lives, and I was really getting into making videos for demonstration purposes with my business, and life happened. And you probably realized that I kind of like dropped off the face of the earth. Every now and then I would pop in and out of some other people's lives and say hi. And but for the most part, you haven't really heard much from me since July. Well, I have really thought about it as to whether or not to share publicly what has gone on in my life in the last 6 months. And then I thought to myself, I really need to do this. This is a public service announcement. There is a mental health crisis that is going on in our country, possibly the world right now. And it's more importantly, it's affecting our young people at such tragic numbers that it's not even funny. I've just decided that our young people today, in a lot of ways, are so mixed up. And I'm not really sure where the breakdown comes from. I'm not going to sit there and blame it on social media. I'm not going to blame it on the pandemic. I'm not going to blame it on parents. I'm not going to blame it on any one thing. But something has happened to our society. Something has happened to our young that has really affected our young people. And this is what's happened that I say this. I took in, some of you know this and some of you don't, but I took in my sister's granddaughter after my sister passed away, and I took her in 9 years ago. About 9 years ago, I took her in, and I raised her from the time that she was age 10. I raised her. Her mom was in and out of jail for drug abuse and drug dealing, and just in general, she just was making such poor choices. Thankfully, she's gotten her life together now, and she's doing really, really well. Well, I managed to get my niece's daughter, so it's my sister's granddaughter, but I managed to get her daughter to where she graduated high school, graduated with highest honors, and she was accepted to go to a very good university in the state of Virginia Tech, and was accepted into the Corps of Cadets. She did it all herself. She put herself through all of it and got it all of it together. And all the while, she was, in her senior year, she was at home doing virtual learning from home. And I had recommended that she got her driver's license the year before. And I recommended that, you need to go get a job. I really feel like that you need some outside contact with someone. Well, unbeknownst to me, she developed a relationship with an adult man, 23 years old. She was 16 at the time, I believe, because she had started this secret relationship way before I ever knew about it. She might have either just turned 17. I'm not really sure because I don't really know when she started it. Well, he devastated her. He broke her heart after he found out that I had found out that he existed. And then she started, woe is me, woe is me. And she decides that she's going to tell all her friends that, well, I just took a bottle of Tylenol. I don't even want to live anymore. And, she does all of this stuff and she goes to work. And her iPad is communicating everything she's communicating on her telephone. And she's supposed to be at work. She's a lifeguard. She's supposed to be working and she's texting. And I'm sitting there reading every one of the messages off of the iPad. Now, I'm just telling you what, I have been through it. This girl has been so secretive, and I have really been through it with her. And so I'm one of those helicopter moms where I check the iPad, I check the telephone, I find out what they're doing. I've caught her in all kinds of circumstances. I had Life 360 on her phone, and she's still doing all of this behind my back. Wow. Wow. So anyway, when I found out that she was talking to her friends, telling them all about how she had taken a bottle of Tylenol, I called and got the recommendations, and they told me, they said, you need to go take and get her checked out because it could be very seriously. She could just drop dead from liver failure if she really did take a bottle of Tylenol. So I take her to the emergency room, and she tells them that she's got suicidal thoughts, straight up. And so anyway, they did all of the toxicology reports on her and everything. And, I found this very odd. I found the whole thing very odd. First of all, let me just go back and preface it a little bit. On Friday, the day before, she had this conversation on texting with her friend. She went to field hockey practice after she supposedly had taken this bottle of Tylenol. Did a complete hour-and-a-half workout. Then she went to work at Chipotle, her job, until midnight. And then she gets up and she goes to work at the YMCA the next day. Now, I don't know about you, but if I'd taken a whole bottle of Tylenol, I wouldn't have been able to run squat in the heat to do anything. But she did. So I'm questioning whether or not she did or did not. I found no evidence that there was any Tylenol in the house that had been an empty bottle anywhere. So I still took her, and they had called CSB, Community Services Board, and the Community Services Board did a mental health thing on her, and they decided to put her in a behavioral center for a week. I want to say this, though. The doctor at the ER took me out in the hallway, and he told me, he said, I just want you to understand one thing. We found no traces of Tylenol in her system. None. Zero. So that was alarming. I'm sitting there thinking, wow, this is extreme. That you would go to this extreme and pretend and make up that you had suicidal thoughts and that you did this. What are you doing it for? Attention? I'm not sure. Anyway, she went to a behavioral center, and it was like camp rehab. And, she was calling me every single day, happy-go-lucky. And, this was the best thing since sliced bread. And, it was crazy. And I'm like, all right, something's not right here. Well, then they started that. As she got out, they started doing counseling. And then the counselor that she got hooked up with started empowering her. And I became her enemy. I became enemy number one. As if I am the reason she's stuck in the circumstances she is stuck in. Now, I just want you to know something. I have a nice home. I have a nice life. We are not by any means hurting for anything. And she has had everything she's ever wanted. Except for maybe her mom being clean and living that life with her mom. She's had all the things that she could possibly do. Well, let's fast forward a little bit. It was an awful couple months. Well, then I go to Texas to visit with my daughter and spend some time with my grandchildren. And I decided I didn't really want her to go with me because it was awful. It was so awful living with her in the house and me becoming public enemy number one to her that I'm like, okay, we need a break. We need a time by ourselves and not with each other. So she didn't go with me to Texas. And instead, she stayed here with my sister, and she went away with her with their side of the family on vacation. I get back from Texas. I find out that she has been sneaking in and out of my house with some guy. My husband wasn't here either. He was in Texas too. I found this out because she snuck out in the middle of the night and went and and went and got him in the middle of the night, brought him back and let him stay at this house. Well, guess what she does after she gets caught with all of this? Let's just pretend that we're going to kill ourselves again. And she tells the counselor that, oh, I just drank bleach. We had a serious problem here. This girl is making up stuff so that she can either A, get attention, or B, let me just get out of whatever I want to do or get out of trouble. And I know some people are probably sitting there thinking, wow, you are cold. No, I'm not. I lived through this. So please don't judge me. Don't come at me. There's a serious problem. I recognize there's a serious problem. But where have we gone to the point where our young people are making this stuff up? She's doing it all like on TikTok. And, she did a video where the background of the music was, go ahead, do it, pull the trigger. No one will care anyway. Who the hell puts stuff out like that anyway? And this was a trend where our young people are making these videos of themselves like they're blowing their brains out. They're being encouraged by music or words from other people. It's like a cool thing to do. It's exhausting. Get stuck in another behavioral center for another time. Well, she gets out and then she gets herself together and it's almost time to go to college. She's still insisting that she wants to go to college. I want her to stay local because I don't think that she's prepared emotionally or mentally to be able to go that far away. It's 5 hours away from home to go to college. So I tried to encourage her to stay here. Oh no, I'm doing this. I'm getting out of here. I'm going to college. Going into the Corps of Cadets. Well, it's like going to the military. I'm just going to let you know, it's going to boot camp the first week of school, before school. Well, she gets there and she didn't even make it a day before she's pretending she's got an allergic reaction to food so she can go to the hospital. It's all verified. I already know it was all made up. Tried to drop out the very first week. And I'm trying, to keep her there, encouraging her, it's just tough. You got to get through the first week or so. She faked several injuries that week. And then got encouraged by one of her friends. Well, you just need to go home. You just need to do anything you need to do. Whatever you need to do to get yourself home, even if you have to tell them you've got suicidal thoughts, you need to do that. Oh my God. Yes, I read these messages. She was encouraged to tell health officials once again she had suicidal thoughts. Well, she really thought that they were just going to call me and have me come pick her up. They didn't. The law is the law, and I don't really have anything to do with it. And this is a good thing for our young people because she was totally making it all up. Well, they went and they took her, drove her 5 hours from home, brought her all the way home to the behavioral center and kept her in there for a week. Well, then after that, she didn't want anything to do with me. I'm still public enemy number one. No sympathy whatsoever as far as she's concerned. I don't really have any sympathy for you recklessly using our medical facilities for making up stuff. There are other ways to handle this. And I don't believe for 1 minute that you needed to threaten, make light of something, because there are people that really have serious problems. And anyway, long story short, she moved out and I had to find her a safe place until she turned 18. She doesn't live with me any longer, but I was exhausted. I went through the gamut. And so I backed off of everything. I continued to do my sewing business. And I just took some time to let my emotions heal, let me heal. And I finally feel strong again. I finally feel like to the point where I can actually talk about this. And I know you're probably thinking, why are you putting this all on YouTube? Well, I'm putting it out there because there could be somebody else out there, another parent that doesn't want to be blamed for their kids' actions. And they might need to have someone out there that says, I've been there. This is tough. But when you're using social media as your avenue and you're sharing all of this out there, I mean, her friends all knew she was doing all of this. It was all over Instagram. It was all over her Snapchat. They all knew. Nobody's calling me. Nobody's saying a word. You know, I could have gotten her some help sooner before she got to the point where she felt like she was desperate. But oh no, the young people are thinking, well, we can be our friends' support group. And I'm just here to tell you, check your kids' social media. Find out what they're talking about with their friends. And oh gosh, let me just tell you, I found out there's all kinds of dark sides to the internet as well. They can hide just about anything. She was hiding her whereabouts with Life 360. And, you know, it wasn't that I was naive and I was ignorant. I just didn't know that she was doing this. I mean, and I would call her out every single time. I'm like, why isn't your Life 360 working? Oh, my battery died on my phone. She always had an excuse for everything. An excuse for everything. Guys, we have a crisis. There are young people that are really killing themselves at way higher of a rate than you want it to happen. There are people that are just doing each other in on social media. And then we've got a whole crisis of young people knowing about it and not telling anyone. I don't know what the answer is. I really don't. But I just wanted to put that out there. If there's ever anybody out there, if you watch this video and you are in my position, reach out. I'll talk to you. I don't know if I can help you, but sometimes it's just good to listen to someone. Just be careful. Watch out with what your children are doing. Bye. Thanks for listening.